Oh. Oh. Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. A quote for you to reflect upon. The world, as we have created, it is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. Albert Einstein. As we celebrate 90 days of our semester with less than 1 week to go, as we celebrate 200 verses together with only a few more until the completion of chapter 4, I openly express my pride in all of you, in our community, for changing the world. And how are we doing this? In the most effective way, by changing our thinking. If we reflect on the impact that Albert Einstein has had on the world, if he's sharing this is how the world is to be changed, then we have to follow and are following. In verse 33, Shri Krishna encourages us to evolve from dravya yajna to jnana yajna. From focusing on materials to focusing on our mind. We will know we're doing this if we feel more restful. If you engage in materials, there is no end to this. If you engage your mind, there is end. How do we make this evolution? In verse 34, when one is steady and sincere about changing, evolving, then a guide will come in their lives and guide them to this jnana, to filling their mind up with vision. In verse 35, when one is filled with vision, a vision of oneness, where all are in one, one is in all, there is no more moha, there will never be any more moha. What is moha? An expression of this is the sense of separation. An expression of this is vices. This is our phala. This is our reward, is to no longer have any vices in any way. Which is why I shared this should be our only investment. Verses 36 and 37 are sharing that knowledge is immediate. Knowledge, which nurtures this vision, is immediate. Giving you a physical example, in your rooms, when there's darkness, and you turn on the light switch, If your light bulb is an old school light bulb, it immediately turns on and immediately removes that darkness. There's no process there, it's immediate. And so particularly with verse 36, this verse is a verse of hope, that we may feel far from being joy, but this knowledge can help us to be joy immediately. That is verse 36 and 37. However, I know this is difficult for some of us to relate to, the immediacy of knowledge. So I shared more in terms of how to be ready for this knowledge. And that is mediate. It is not immediate. Knowledge is immediate or direct, but being receptive, being ready for knowledge is mediate, is indirect. Coming back to that physical example, lifting yourself out of bed to turn that light on requires a lot, yes? See how the process to get to the light switch is mediate, but turning on the light is immediate. This lifting ourselves up, we have to normalize. Ways to do so: be active. 1 hour a week, actively listen to noble people. 1 hour a week, actively read noble people's ideas. 1 hour a week, actively watch noble ideas. These are no longer about people, they're your own ideas. Another way to lift ourselves up to this light, to become nama maya. Maya means to be filled. This body is annamaya, always filled with food. Chinmaya, to be filled with awareness, we should be namamaya. Thinking of a divine name, saying a divine name, counting this on our hands. This is a practice in Bhagavata. Ta means tarini, or boat. Va means vara, the best boat. Ga means gacchati, the best boat to go or to know. Bha. Bha means light. For some, this is your parent, Bhagwan. For some, this is presence, or Brahman. Bhagavata also means belonging to. The more I fill my mind and my words and my actions with a divine name, I feel I belong to my parent. I feel this presence belongs to me. That is being free of moha. For some of you who may be thinking, what is this divine name? Consider Hari Icha. Hari is another name for Sri Krishna. And Icha means his guidance, his will. When a positive experience happens to you today, think it, say it, write it, Hari Icha. It is the divine will. And when the negative experience comes, also say that. Hari Icha. These verses 36 and 37 are describing the completion of our journey. There is no more karma that is being collected. Sanchita is burned. There is no more karma that's coming. Agami is burned. all that remains is the karma of the creator, which we describe as prarabdha. What the body and mind and intellect do, it is only hari ichcha. The ego is not there, so one becomes the perfect instrument for Sri Krishna to play with, play through. And I had shared yesterday with all of you an insight from the P flag representative in Niagara Falls. How with 30 minutes, he learned so much about Sanatana Dharma, Bhagavad Gita. Our workshop, for him I said classes, our workshop is a catalyst to being happy. And when you're happy, you give. The completion of chapter 4 is sharing how one acts out of fulfillment. So keep checking your intention. If you're acting out of fulfillment, it's because you're happier now. You're feeling your happiness. We continue. In the last 10 days, we have explored some of the most popular and powerful verses of Bhagavad Gita. Verse 32, verse 34, verse 36, now verse 38. For those who have read my biography, one of the responsibilities that Pujya Tejomayananda has given to me is to be the Deputy Director of Chinmaya Yuva Kendra West. And the logo, if you've seen this, is a lamp. And around this lamp, what is written? The first line of this verse. That's how popular and powerful this is. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate tat swayam yoga samsiddhaha kalenatmani vindati. Nahi, there is not. Jnanena sadrisham, any entity like knowledge. Why? Pavitram iha vidyate. Here, now, this purifies. There is no entity like knowledge that can purify one here, now. I shared a word like immediacy. Offering more insights. Jnana, or knowledge, is beyond Shuddha, or purity. Is beyond. I've shared with all of you, you have to be pure to know. So purity comes first, then knowing. But the efforts to know, that's what's being described here, that these efforts to know are most purifying. They tend to our sadness, they tend to our anxiety, they tend to our stress. And the completion of purity is knowing. In essence, Sri Krishna is sharing here that purity and knowledge are one. That's how close they are. As soon as one purifies themselves, they will know. What will they know? Tat. In the second line, the first word is tat. They will know this knowledge. What is this knowledge? They will know Bha, their parent, their presence. How will they know this? Swayam. They will know this by themselves, in themselves. yoga samsiddhaha. This is the completion of yoga. When will this happen? Kalena. Kalena means in good time. No specifics are given here. With the completion of this chapter, you will be enlightened. 500 more mornings of meaningful mornings, you will be enlightened. It is based on your steadiness, your sincerity. Atmani vindati. All of this is found or experienced in oneself. It is through our normalized efforts, which I've shared with you, that all we do outside becomes a discipline. Bahi karana sadhana. And more purity intensifies our discipline to within ourselves. That's called antakarana sadhana. And the completion of this, Prince Arjuna, like us, we are what we are seeking. Joy cannot be created, it can only be rediscovered. From inspiration to application, your ongoing application is to prepare for your birthday. Do you think anyone would know Prince Arjuna if there was no Bhagavad Gita? So Bhagavad Gita's birthday is really Prince Arjuna's birthday. Bhagavad Gita's birthday is really your birthday, especially this year. I don't think you've ever dedicated yourself to Bhagavad Gita like you've done this year. Another application of yours was to write a paragraph on Bhagavad Gita in Meaningful Mornings in our community. And many of you have written about this. I've read lots of those reflections. Use this paragraph to be an ambassador. Remember, I told you if you're happy, you give. Whenever we think of give, we always think financially, which is fine. But more deep than that is effort. When we restart Meaningful Mornings on January 14th, use this paragraph to be an ambassador to invite your family and friends, your co-workers, your co-students to be part of this community. But you'll only do that if you're happy. If you become sadder in Meaningful Mornings, you will not be an ambassador. So use this paragraph. Your application for this morning is I want you to read everyone else's reflections. Many have written on Chinmay Mission Niagara's website. You read this. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be safe, be sound, be serene.